her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, need to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality. And, we'll see what happens if the DA looks and investigates.
Buzbee said because he's alleging that Jay-Z's team and Jay-Z had private investigators and a bunch of people reaching out to former employees of the firm, their families, including the plaintiff's family.
It was the kind of bombshell no one saw coming, a revelation that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, leaving even the most jaded observers reeling after months of swirling allegations and mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter. A mysterious third figure in the case has allegedly been identified. And it is not just anyone, it is Diddy's own mother, Shanice Combs, the same woman who has fiercely defended her son throughout his legal troubles, now finds herself entangled in the very lawsuits she sought to discredit. Reports suggest the FBI has zeroed in on her as a key witness, and the implications of her cooperation or refusal could drastically reshape the trajectory of this already explosive case.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes.
Yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
According to sources close to the investigation, the FBI has identified the unnamed female figure mentioned in the lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy as none other than Janice Combs. The lawsuit, which has already gained notoriety for its shocking claims that the two men were involved in a disturbing incident during an after-party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. The lawsuit also mentions a third individual, a woman who was present during the alleged act. For months, the identity of this woman remained a mystery, causing rumors and theories on social media and in gossip columns.
Came here today just to tell the truth, so hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
To grasp the gravity of this revelation, we must revisit the details of the lawsuit filed by an anonymous plaintiff known as Jane Doe. The case alleges that the incident took place at a private after-party hosted by Diddy. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe was brought to the party by a chauffeur who allegedly worked for Diddy. Once inside, she claims she was pressured into signing a document she did not fully understand and given a mysterious drink that left her feeling disoriented. What happened next forms the crux of the allegations. Jane Doe accuses both Diddy and Jay-Z of taking advantage of her while a female celebrity, now allegedly identified as Janice Combs, stood by and watched. The lawsuit has drawn widespread attention not only for its shocking claims, but also for the involvement of two of hip-hop's most iconic figures.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Both Diddy and Jay-Z have strongly refuted the accusations, calling the lawsuit unfounded and defamatory in their statements. In a vehement statement, Jay-Z in particular has been vocal in his defense, calling the allegations absurd and charging plaintiff's lawyer Tony Buzbee of attempting to extract money from well-known people through blackmail. Jay-Z reaffirmed his innocence and demanded justice for Prevail, saying he would never settle such accusations, and urged the lawyer to press criminal charges if he genuinely thought the case had merit. Would you not agree that anyone who commits such a crime against a minor should be imprisoned?
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Ditt's response has been more muted, most likely due to the fact that he is already dealing with a plethora of legal issues unrelated to this case. The music tycoon is presently in federal detention awaiting trial on other counts, including charges of exploitation and racketeering. His mother's involvement in this most recent case adds another level of complexity to his already difficult predicament, even though his legal team has continuously disputed all of the accusations against him, calling them false and part of a planned campaign to damage his name.
The judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male sex workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
There is tremendous pressure on Janice Combs to cooperate with the FBI's investigation and testify about what she allegedly witnessed, or else she may face legal repercussions. According to sources close to the investigation, the FBI has approached her with this choice, and her choice could have far-reaching consequences not only for her son but also for Jay-Z, who has reportedly become increasingly concerned about her possible testimony.
The latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, this one has so many people talking, the disgraced music mogul, facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment, as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
Once regarded as a pillar of hip-hop's golden era, Jay-Z and Diddy's relationship is currently the subject of intense scrutiny. Despite the fact that neither man has openly discussed the idea of Janice C. testifying, the two men who rose to fame in the 1990s and have since created empires that go well beyond music now face the risk of turning against one another in court, according to insiders. There is a lot of finger-pointing going on right now, and tensions between the two have reached a boiling point. One insider also disclosed that Diddy and Jay-Z are both attempting to defend themselves and aren't above blaming one another if necessary.
In the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it really underscores the magnitude of what he's facing and the weight of the federal government.
The potential for betrayal looms large, especially given the high stakes involved. For Jay-Z, the lawsuit threatens to tarnish a legacy built on decades of success and philanthropy. The rapper-turned-businessman has carefully cultivated an image of social responsibility, using his platform to advocate for criminal justice reform and other causes. Being implicated in such a scandal risks undoing years of reputation building, and he appears determined to fight back with everything he has. His legal team, led by high-profile attorney Alex Blau, has already filed multiple motions to dismiss the case, citing what they describe as glaring inconsistencies in the plaintiff's account. They have also taken aim at Tony Buzbee, accusing the attorney of failing to properly investigate the claims before filing the lawsuit.
You know, obviously this civil suit was coming for a while, and there was some talk between Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas, so...
For Diddy, the stakes are even higher. Already facing federal charges that could lead to a life sentence if convicted, this lawsuit only adds to his mounting legal troubles. Now, with his mother's involvement coming to light, the pressure on him is intensifying. Janice Combs has been a staunch defender of her son throughout his legal battles, even releasing a statement earlier this year describing the allegations against him as a public lynching. However, her potential testimony against Jay-Z, and the possibility that it could implicate Diddy as well, raises serious questions about where her loyalties truly lie. Could she really turn against her own son to save herself, or will she refuse to cooperate, risking her own freedom in the process?
Just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years? I think there's
The FBI, for its part, appears to be playing hardball. Investigators are reportedly gathering evidence to build a case against Janice Combs should she refuse to cooperate. While the specific charges she could face remain unclear, legal experts suggest the pressure on her to testify is immense. Authorities will use every tool at their disposal to compel her cooperation, one legal analyst noted. If she has information that could help their case, they're going to do everything they can to get it. As legal battles rage on, the hip-hop world finds itself at a crossroads. The once unshakable bond between Jay-Z and Diddy now seems to be unraveling, with both men fighting to protect their legacies and their freedom. At the center of it all is Janice Combs, a woman who has long stood by her son but now finds herself caught in the crossfire of one of the most high-profile scandals in recent memory. Will she cooperate with authorities, risking alienation from Diddy, or will she remain loyal, even at the cost of her own freedom? The answers to these questions could determine the course of the lawsuits and the futures of everyone involved. The web of intrigue surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, Jay-Z, and the mysterious events of the early 2000s only grows more tangled with each new revelation. While the spotlight now firmly rests on Janice Combs and her alleged involvement, the context of her potential role is far from straightforward. This is a story of haunting childhood experiences, unresolved connections, and a trail of accusations stretching back decades. But there's more. The shadow of Jennifer Lopez looms over these events, as her past relationship with Diddy has resurfaced in ways no one could have predicted. As new details emerge, the scandal continues to grip the entertainment world, a saga filled with chaos, conspiracies, and chilling revelations that make it one of the most talked about in history.
Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active, even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued, like we talked about prior to.
Rumors about Janice Combs' alleged involvement go beyond the recent lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy. Her name has surfaced before, but only in whispers, hushed conversations about the infamous gatherings that took place at her home during Diddy's childhood. These weren't typical family get-togethers. According to those who knew the Combs family at the time, these parties were anything but ordinary, wild, unrestrained, and filled with individuals who would shape Diddy's formative years in ways that can only be described as troubling. One of Diddy's childhood friends, Tim Patterson, recently spoke out in a documentary, describing the chaotic environment they grew up in. At night, it wasn't unusual to walk into a bedroom and see things a kid shouldn't be seeing, Patterson revealed. That was just normal for us, it's what we were fed. If this was the environment that shaped Diddy's early years, it raises serious questions about how those experiences may have influenced his actions later in life, actions that have now landed him in federal custody. But what's even more shocking is how these past events may have pulled Janice Combs into the legal spotlight today. Sources close to the investigation claim the FBI is looking into whether her influence and these early gatherings had any connection to the behavior Diddy is now accused of. It's a chilling thought. Could the roots of these allegations stretch back to the very household where Diddy grew up?
Well, certainly there's a lot of information that needs to be substantiated, investigated, and those kinds of things. But when we look at people who become offenders, we oftentimes see early exposure to sexuality, whether that's or actual behavior, and we oftentimes see that within the family.
And then there's Jennifer Lopez. Her connection to Diddy has always fascinated the public, but recent developments have thrust her back into the spotlight in ways no one anticipated. Resurfaced photographs from the night of the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards show Lopez in what appears to be a heated exchange with Diddy. The images, taken just hours before the alleged incident involving Jay-Z and Diddy, depict Lopez standing with her sister, visibly upset, while Diddy leans against a wall holding a drink. While there is no suggestion that Lopez is directly involved in the allegations, her presence at the event has reignited speculation about what she might know. And let's not forget, this was during the height of her tumultuous relationship with Diddy, a relationship that ended in 2001 but continues to cast a long shadow over her life.
So remember when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs?
Mhm.
All right, so apparently tomorrow there's the Peacock is dropping the Diddy documentary. It's called Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy, and the doc gets into Diddy's childhood and his experience growing up in connection to the lawsuit and all allegations he's currently facing.
The research-based photos have prompted calls for Lopez to speak out about the scandal. Fans and critics alike want to know what she saw that night, whether she saw anything that could shed light on the allegations against Diddy and Jay's, and if so, why she has remained silent for so long. Lopez has chosen to focus on her career and personal life, promoting her most recent film and finalizing her divorce from Ben Affleck. For now, though, her silence speaks volumes.
According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about...
Meanwhile, the allegations against Diddy continue to mount. Beyond the lawsuit involving Jay-Z, he faces a growing list of accusations that paint a deeply troubling picture of his behavior over the years. From claims of exploitation to allegations of coercion, the stories emerging are as varied as they are shocking. One particularly disturbing case involves his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, who recently settled a lawsuit against him. While the terms of the settlement remain confidential, the allegations in her case have only fueled speculation, leaving many to wonder just how deep this rabbit hole goes. But Diddy's legal troubles don't stop there. He is also facing federal charges that could see him spend the rest of his life behind bars. These charges, which include accusations of operating a criminal network, have only intensified the scrutiny surrounding him. And now, with his mother allegedly linked to the lawsuit involving Jay-Z, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Janice Combs cooperates with authorities, it could have devastating consequences for Diddy. But if she refuses, she risks facing legal repercussions herself. It's a no-win situation, and the tension surrounding her decision is palpable. As if this weren't enough, conspiracy theories have begun to swirl, attempting to connect the dots between Diddy's upbringing, his legal troubles, and the allegations against Jay-Z. Some believe the events of the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards are just the tip of the iceberg, a glimpse into a larger pattern of unchecked behavior spanning decades. Others point to the resurfaced photos of Jennifer Lopez as possible evidence of a deeper connection between her and the events of that night. Then there are those who speculate that Janice Combs' alleged involvement could be the key to unraveling the entire scandal. While these theories remain unverified, they underscore the complexity of the case and the many unanswered questions that continue to surround it.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people.
The accusations against Diddy and Jay-Z aren't just about individual acts. They're about a culture of privilege and power that has permitted such behaviors to continue unchecked for so long. From the parties at Janice C's house to the events of the 2 MTV Video Music Awards. This scandal has exposed the darker side of the entertainment industry, which is particularly fascinating and unsettling. It serves as a stark reminder of how the boundaries between fame, influence, and accountability can become dangerously blurred.
I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this.
As the investigation unfolds, the focus remains on Janice Combs and her potential role in the case against Jay-Z and Diddy. Will she cooperate with authorities and testify about what she allegedly witnessed, or will she stand by her son no matter the cost? And what about Jennifer Lopez? Will she finally break her silence and reveal what she knows about that fateful night? These are the questions everyone is asking, and the answers could have far-reaching implications, not just for Diddy and Jay-Z, but for the entire entertainment industry. In the end, this scandal is more than just a legal battle, it's a reckoning. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the people we idolize and the systems that enable their behavior. And as new details continue to emerge, one thing is clear. This story is far from over. So stay tuned, because the twists and turns are only just beginning. Will Janice Combs cooperate with authorities, or will she risk everything to protect her son? And what role, if any, does Jennifer Lopez play in this unfolding drama? The coming weeks could change everything.